So beautiful word from the Kedushas Levi at the beginning of our Parshas of Levi Yitzchak that really is an important insight in life and certainly very apropos as we approach the beginning of Elul, the Yemei Hadin, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippurim. The Parsha begins, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol she'arecha. We are to appoint and we are to place judges, law enforcement officials in all the gates. And what will that lead to? V'shaftu es ha'am mishpat tzedek. And then the nation will be able to be judged in an appropriate and a righteous way. And Rabbi Levi Yitzchak comments, Hina HaKadosh Baruch Hu shofet haknas Yisrael b'yom ha'mishpat ki b'godel rachamav v'chasadav. The moment is going to come, the day is going to come when HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs to judge us. And when he does, he brings different tools with him. And amongst the tools that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings are his rachamim and his chesed, his compassion and his kindness. And that is a way in which we can be judged. But what determines whether HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to go with a midas hadin, with a harsh, strict judgment, or whether he's going to tap into that rachamim and that chesed? And he explains, Ach tzrichen itarusa dilatata le'oras hamidas rachmanos l'mala. In order to be able to have HaKadosh Baruch Hu tap into that midah of rachamim, that mercy, we have to tell him what we want. It has to come from us. But how does that happen? How do we convey that message to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that when we are judged, we want to be judged in a righteous way, in a way that's filled with kindness and goodness and compassion? He explains that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at how Ruvain judges, what his definition of judgment is. How do we know? Let's see how he judges Shimon. If Shimon acts towards him in a certain way, does he look to find a positive? Is he dan lekaf zechus? Is he try to see a way in which it can be interpreted in the best way possible with racham and with mercy? Or does he look at the opposite? No, he's a no goodnik, everything he does is bad. And that's the way we're going to view it. And then Hashem says, you know what? If that is how he views his friend, then that is clearly his definition of judgment. And if that's his definition of judgment, then that is how I am going to judge him as well. So in essence, the way we judge others determines how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to judge us. And that is really a midah keneged midah. It's not a punishment. It's just simply that we are telling Hashem, this is our view of how judgment should be. What's the proof? That's how we are doing it. If that's good enough for us judging others, then that should be good enough for us being judged by him as well. And that's what the Psukim say. Shoftim v'shotrim titin lecha b'chol she'arecha. You should set up judges yourself, lecha, in all of your gates, in all of the gates of how we interact with other people. Shoftim v'shotrim titin lecha. You are going to have to decide how it is that you want to act. And what will that lead to if you do it the right way? V'shoftu es ha'am mishpat tzedek. Then it will lead for everybody to a righteous judgment. We have the responsibility and we have the ability to determine how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to interact with us on Rosh Hashanah. We are going to be standing in front of that heavenly court, and Hashem is going to be weighing the actions that we have done over the course of the year. And whether that will be done with rachamim, or whether that will be done with din, is 100% up to us. And it depends how we interact with other people. When we see other people, do we try to figure out a positive? Do we see how it can be looked at in a different way? When we do that, that is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, wow, that's the definition of judgment that this person has. That is what I am going to use as well. And that is part of the preparations that we can make as we approach the Yemei Hadin. The way we interact with others is the way that midah keneged midah HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to interact with us. And by putting the effort into those interactions, then hopefully HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges us with rachamim, with chesed, and grants us all the judgment that we desire.